here.
We actually never got Meow-Mix to talk about his troll rating.
Oh, you want me to do it? Okay.
Yeah, and I wanted to comment on one particular. I mean, I get these.
Okay. All right, well, take us through it. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, after Bulbasaur published the article, and like I said, I got really fired up about it. So I decided to go to this respectable Negro's homepage, and I said, hey, I dropped a comment on this guy's article. I said, and I posted on TRS. I said, hey, if anybody wants to drop a comment here, go ahead. So the next thing you know, we had Toilet Law and about a dozen other people is dropping comments in. And of course, they were all deleted and censored because they can't stand criticism. No, of course. But then we caught two because I had kind of invited them and I said, hey, straight up, if you want to debate us on our own turf, come over to The Right Stuff. And I added links to the article and everything. I said, come on over to our place and we will debate you. We will not dox you. We will not delete your comments. We will not censor you unless you say something like totally absurd, like, pedophile shit or whatever.
Yeah, really the only thing that's getting censored is like child porn type stuff. Yeah. Right? So
and
other than that, whatever.
It was so hilarious to me because we had two biters. We had one guy who left one comment, and he had said something about Bulbasaur, like, oh, you fly the Confederate flag, and that's the flag of surrender or whatever, and that was pretty retarded. But then we had, his name was Kokani, and at first, I think we all thought he was black.
I thought he was black? I thought he was black. I just assumed.
Yeah, just because he had this black,
kind of black sounding
emoticon name with like blood on it because that's Black Lives Matter and then brutality or whatever. But then he said he was like white, and I don't know the whole story, but it was so funny. And it's funny because you've talked about this on TRS many times before. Is leftists and Jonathan Haidt says this as well. Is leftists do not understand conservatives. They have no idea where right-wingers are coming from. They don't. It's just beyond fathoming. So it was funny because this person shows up on our page and they're like, oh, hey, I'm from Chauncey's blog. And it was funny because he said, oh, I've been deleted from numerous left-wing blogs in the past. I said, that's a little telling. I said, so you've been shut down, basically. And the individual's like, the individuals had no idea how to respond to TRS. Like they were in a foreign land. And it was funny.
Yeah, he seemed very much out of it. Like he didn't.
Yeah, wait. Yeah,
he thought we were like the Klan. He thought I don't know. He just didn't know really what to make of it.
Yeah, and it was funny because one of them, one of the first comments they put is like, I don't know who it was. They had said you're using some really. They had said like King of the Jungle or something. And this person's like, wow, you're using some really coded language. And we're, one of the commentators was like, no, we don't use coded language here. We mean
I was like, no one has a problem saying.
We're straight up like white supremacists and stuff. And they're like, what?
They were like very surprised. And I saw one interaction, and maybe you might have even screen capped it and posted it to me, where one of them said to the other, he's like, they don't care about foreign policy. They don't care about economics. All they care about is just white supremacy, pure and simple. Yes. And I was like, this is very funny. Like they wanted to peg us as like, because what they really want to do, what these people really want to do, because they know how sort of socially unacceptable racist views really are. They want to paint the GOP as being secretly KKK. Like that's part of their agenda.
Which would be awesome.
They want you to think, or they want to be able to nail the GOP down as being actually racist. And it reminds me of something, just really quick little anecdote. Many years ago, there's a communist radio station in New York City, WBAI 95.5. I don't know if it's 95. It's not. That's like fucking classic rock.
That's PDH. Or no. That's Power 95.
PLJ.
PLJ, yeah.
D-I-L,
no, it's 95. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is. Pacifica Radio. It's a communist radio station. And that's where Democracy Now! And all that shit is. I remember when Bush was still president, I used to sometimes listen to it to trigger myself. And I remember one time there was an announcer who was sort of lamenting the fact that he could not pin anti-black racism, at least, on George Bush. That there was like nothing George Bush ever said or did that could actually be construed as like anti-black racism, and he was sort of like shaking his head about it and lamenting it. I just thought it was sort of funny. So that's like definitely something they want. They would love to, because they know anti-black racism is very politically incorrect in America today. They would love to pin that on the GOP, and they can't, because as we know, the GOP is actually not racist. Which is crazy, but it's true.
They hate
racism.
They have like, and it's weird because you've talked about this many times before, is the GOP is implicitly white. It's an implicitly white party, and as much as they fucking spread their cheeks for Jews and blacks and Hispanics and so on, at the end of the day, who's biting? It's kind of like, that's what they see them as. And everybody knows it, and that's where I agree with liberals, because they're like, you guys are one step below the Nazi party or whatever, blah blah, and it's kind of like the GOPers are the people who deny it. Like when they say, well, Martin Luther King is a saint, blah blah blah, they really mean it. They
really do. I don't.
They say, when they say, I only see individuals, I don't see skin color, or, oh, I was reading Jonah Goldberg from National Review and liberals are Nazis. Well, they really mean that.